Hey, what's up guys? Scott here from Peak Prosper, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about stress and how our responses to stress can have a detrimental impact on our performance in our life, our business, our careers, and really hold us back from achieving our goals. I'm also going to talk about how stress is a positive catalyst to achieving our goals. Now, before I begin today, I'd like to quickly announce that the one-on-one consultation with me for the Peak Prosper program is now open. And if you'd like to learn more about that, then just go ahead and click the link below or stick around till the end of this video for more information on that. And with that, let's get started. Well, what is stress really? Well, stress is our body's physiological response to threatening experiences happening in our life, or events. It's triggered by events that are outside of our mind, events happening to us from people, places, and things. When stress becomes chronic, it leads to disease, extreme anxiety, and depression. Now, today, I'm going to empower you with some tools to help you stay out of the chronic stress zone. But inevitably, as humans, we are going to experience stress at some point. So this video is not about avoiding stress entirely. It's just about implementing the tools required to properly manage it. Now, stress is largely driven from a neurochemical in our mind called cortisol. And too much cortisol leads to this feeling of being just burned out when we experience a lot of pressure in our lives, our businesses, and our careers. Contrary, not enough cortisol leads to low levels of motivation and drive. So ultimately what we're aiming for is just optimal stress, which is the optimal ratio of pressure to our performance. Just having the right balance of cortisol in our mind so that we can operate at peak function. Now, common causes of stress are events that have happened to us in our past, or events that haven't even happened yet, but we fabricate in our mind. Now, when this happens, our heart rate elevates, our blood pressure skyrockets, and our performance declines. And oftentimes, stress is really just driven from a perception of threats that are not even real. And what happens when we operate from this high level of stress or far too low of stress, we experience disease, boredom, underperformance, and a poor quality of work. So stress is clearly a problem. But when we're empowered with the right tools and the right mindset, we have the ability to overcome that which is causing us stress and holding us back. So let's talk about 3 things that you can implement in your life to better manage your stress, improve your performance, and rock those goals that you have. Now, the first one is having really crystal clear goals. Now, I define clear goals as those little things that you work towards accomplishing on a daily basis that align with your longer term vision. See, our long-term goals, the things that we wish to attain in the next 30, 60, 90 days, or even in the next 1 to 5 years, can be daunting and overwhelming. And when we feel like we're not there yet, that feeling, that perception, the gap between where we are and where we want to be can actually activate unnecessary stress. So in the context of this training here, I just want to talk about having crystal clear daily goals. Those are 3 to 8 things that you work on accomplishing each day that move you from where you are to where you want to be. And what this does is it allows you to attach realistic expectations to yourself and your performance on a daily basis, which lead you into this optimal state of performance. And as you begin taking off those small wins each day, you experience the dopamine and positive feedback loop from accomplishing the little things that are inevitably moving you to where you want to be in 30, 60, 90 days or in the next year. Now, the next thing that I want to empower you with is a formula we've developed at Peak Prosper that helps our clients properly respond to stressful events that happen in their day-to-day lives and their businesses. This formula is called E times splatter equals O. And E represents events. Events are those triggering things that happen in conversational context with other people. Potentially they're news that trigger a stress response in our mind and our body. E is really the event that's occurring outside of our mind. Now, splatter is the formula, the sequential series of responses that you can take that lead you all the way to the point of formulating a reasonable and realistic response to a stressful event. Splatter stands for stop, breathe, listen, accept, think, respond. Now, when you put all of this together, your response ultimately creates the outcome that you experience given the contextual event that just occurred. So let's go through a hypothetical scenario. Let's say, for example, you just submitted a contract to a client for a $100,000 project, and you're super excited to get the deal signed and begin moving forward with one of your biggest projects yet. But your prospect sends you back an email and says that this contract is just not going to work for them. The terms and conditions, they don't agree with them. They're not willing to sign it today and move forward. Now that event, your prospect sending an email back that's essentially a denial, can trigger an internal stress response and all kinds of negative stories. But it can also be a phenomenal opportunity to go back and re-nurture the lead and make the modifications necessary to get the deal. Now your response or your reaction to this event entirely dictates the outcome. If you take the time to just stop, take a couple of deep breaths, really listen into your mind and what you're thinking and tap into what your prospect is thinking, this gives you the ability in this time that's necessary to formulate and think about how you would properly respond to this situation so that you can still get your desired outcome. Now, the next piece that's absolutely critical for us to invest in as entrepreneurs and businessmen so that we can continue operating in a state of peak performance is ensuring that we've cleared out the emotional blocks, the energetic blocks that are holding us back from operating in a flow state. Now, this work is what we call the inner work. It's the inner work to look at any past pains, past emotional baggage that we're carrying around as men, and just clearing that out so that we can operate in a more peaceful flow state. Now, ultimately, these three things, ensuring that we have crystal clear daily goals, implementing the daily practice of splatter, and clearing out our emotional blockage, leads us to our optimal zone of peak performance. So that's it for today. If you got value out of today's video, empowering you with the tools that are necessary to manage stress and boost your performance, please share this video with someone else in your network that you believe would get value out of the video, and share any comments or thoughts that you have in the comments section below. Also, as I had indicated in the beginning of this video, the free one-on-one consult with me for the Peak Prosper program is now open. If you'd like to connect with me and learn more about how we're helping entrepreneurs and high-performing businessmen reach their next level of performance in all areas of their lives, then just send me a direct message or click on the link in the description below. That's it for today.